Oh hey, if you like sequels and stories of redemption, you're gonna love today's makeover. Chemistry test.
Chemistry test.
Family.
I'm gonna guess.
Hello and welcome to my official dining room makeover of a dining room makeover. You guys may recall, over a year ago, I DIY'd and hung up all these mirrors because my dining room was driving me crazy. I wasn't sure if I was gonna move. I kind of wanted a temporary solution, and guess what? It's a year later, I still haven't moved. And although I do love these gold mirrors, I need to do something more with this dining room. And I know you guys relate to this, right? You guys put up a temporary kind of solution, you try to live with it, it kind of drives you crazy every day, until one day you have an emotional week and you hit your tipping point and you realize the only thing that's gonna change your mood is entirely making over a space. So here we are in my dining room nook. My apartment is kind of open concept, so you have the living room, then you have the dining room. And while I've been doing fun projects in the other areas of the room, I'm finally to the dining room and I'm ready for a big change. I redid my gallery wall and it's beautiful, but we have a lot of art in the place, and so having like a full gallery wall there and then a full gallery wall of mirrors feels like a lot. Additionally, these chairs. They're a holdover from my old apartment, but they are becoming threadbare, they're uncomfortable to sit on, they're getting like rickety. For now, let's get these chairs out of my life and out of my nightmares. Even though, again, I still think they're cool. Goodbye, all the mirrors. Oh, we're good. Okay, now if your mom or grandma did not teach you how to take off command strips from a wall, the big problem with command strips is that people don't know how to remove them properly, and therefore they rip paint off the wall and then complain. But the key to not doing so is to take the tab, and you do not pull out, you pull down until it is like a foot long, and it snaps off cleanly. Don't hit me, don't hit me. Ow. Great. Okay, here we are, back to square one. White box, totally boring, totally blank, totally basic. If you did not see my mirror video, these are the things that drive me crazy in this dining room, okay? We have light switch, heater vent, telephone cubby, another outlet that is for electrical that doesn't work, another outlet. So I wanted to come up with a way to kind of like minimize that. And the more I like look at it with the rest of the space, I just really want this to be its own boom, wow moment that is highly defined as its own space. And originally I thought about doing wallpaper, but I felt like these things are just too glaring and they would just really interrupt any sort of repeating wallpaper. So then I started to think, what if we went bigger? What if we went bolder? And what if instead of doing wallpaper, what if we actually made this a wall mural? Now, I've done tons of wallpaper before, peel and stick, regular, whatever, but I've never actually messed around with a full wall mural. And the reason I wanted to do it this time was, one, like I said, I felt like a repeating pattern would just make the other elements too obvious. And two, the style I'm like very into right now is sort of like tropical traditional estate, kind of grand but cozy. And I thought, what if we throw up an amazing tropical wall mural that, just like me, is a lot? And I don't want to spoil it, but I will say, like, don't look. It has a lot of colors, it has a lot of fun elements, but there's only one problem. This wallpaper comes unpasted. But I'm a renter and I don't want to use full wallpaper paste on this wall. It's also flat paint, so that can make things a little bit more tricky when you take it down. But there is a clever hack I've done in other videos, which is using liquid starch as wallpaper paste. So as a tester, I did cut out a piece of the mural that I won't be using, put it on the wall, let it be there a week, and I peeled it off, and it was totally fine. So I'm hoping that, even though these panels are a little bit larger and heavier, I'm hoping that my liquid starch hack will work. Of course, before we start, speaking of all these things that I want to try to kind of like camouflage, outlets, vents, all this kind of stuff, we are going to do our best to do that, but that's going to require a lot of pain in the ass cutting and measuring and trimming around a lot of elements. So I could really use your prayers right now to help me make that happen without kind of getting electrocuted. And of course, this is our #1 helper today. Say hi. Also, for the electricians and the firemen and the dads watching, these vents are non-functional. This pilot light is not lit. This is a heater that does not work, is not even on. It's gonna be okay. I'm putting down a drop cloth because it's gonna get messy. I have this like 4-foot piece of foam from when I made my faux fireplace. And I'm gonna use this because we're gonna be rolling the liquid starch onto the paper on the floor, and then we're gonna put it up onto the wall. And therefore, what you will need is Stay Flow liquid starch, container to hold liquid starch, roller, and a paintbrush because we are going to roll it out first. Oh, you'll also need a box cutter and also a smoothing tool and also the right wallpaper. Other than that, it's so easy. So basically I wanted to do a full like wall mural in this like corner, but one mural was not enough to finish all this. So I had to do 2. That does mean that we will have a seam that does not perfectly match and carry over, but we might have some hacks to fix that. And the way all these wall murals come is in a bunch of different rolls. They come in single panels and they are numbered on the bottom. Make sure you have all your panels, lay them out. And actually what I have is actually too much wall mural for each individual wall. So it's really good that I laid them all out because I realized that there's a portion of the pattern that's like not my favorite and I actually don't have to include it in it. There's a section of this mural that has a giant Grecian urn next to a cello or a violin. I don't know what they're doing in the jungle, so we're gonna cut that for now. And because I pre-laid them out to kind of see where they would line along the wall, I saved myself one very big moment of hell. Okay, and my sister has finally made it. Say hello to the people.
Oh, hello, folks.
This is Ingrid, unpaid labor. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Baguette?
Baguette. Don't.
Going on over it.
I'm helping.
Normally I would like put up a few panels and then cut them down, but because of the weight of this and it's starting to peel down, I'm just gonna box cut as I go because gravity hates us.
I defy gravity.
Yeah, we are defying gravity.
We will be
right now.
defying gravity on this episode.
Can you move out of my way? This is how crazy I am, guys. Crazy shot. Look how thin that piece is. And I am putting it right in there just to fill in some of our gaps. Okay, you guys, already this is looking just absolutely stunningly incredible. Unfortunately, we are out of liquid starch already. Unfortunately, the only place that carries it is Walmart. And unfortunately, today is the day before Christmas. So we have to go to Walmart the day before Christmas. Oh my God, you guys. Thank God. Thank God, thank God, thank God. We might have overbought, but I will never apologize for that. So it's helpful to have a paintbrush because you can like slide it into the seams. And I am going over it in the starch. And to be honest, this is like certainly a very thick vinyl. So it's not like the most porous, but I just find that going over it really helps you like seal it shut, especially around the edges. You guys, I do want to be honest. I want to be vulnerable here. I made a very poor decision to cut this almost at eye height in a very blank place because this seam is so incredibly obvious. So if you're gonna do a cut, maybe do it lower than eye line or do it in a very busy part where you can't tell. But you know, Ingrid told me to do it, so. Something else I absolutely loved in this mural was this guy, which I do believe is a sloth. But the next panel cuts our sweet boy off. So I'm thinking that what I'm gonna do is if we have to cut off his little hands there, I think I'm gonna use the rest of him and I'm gonna put him in the alcove. I know he like interrupts this pattern a little bit, but like, he's so cute. All right, you guys, mural number 2, we're breaking into her. I am like beyond in love. And watch me put up this whole thing and then we move a month later. ASMR. Now I do want to do a little bit of touch-up work on some places. So as you can see here, this last panel is missing a piece because I took it out to test on the wall, not thinking I was going to use that panel. Secondly, this seam between the two patterns still doesn't match, so we want to make that blend in a little bit more. And of course, the terrible seam that I so stupidly created. So how do we camouflage mistakes that haunt us forever? When you have a very large, busy pattern like this, as I've done in other videos, you cut out single elements that kind of fit it and overlay it. That way it looks like it's overlaid intentionally and part of the design, and not part of the design. For example, I have this palm frond, which I have cut out, and he can act as an extension from this guy, and he can come down and kind of spill over. And that is called camouflage and deception. Okay, so here's where that ugly ass seam was that was ruining my life. But Ingrid has cut out a beautiful, color matched sort of moment from elsewhere in the design. Oh my gosh, and the pink that Ingrid just cut out actually translates into there.
Oh.
Dude, we so planned that. Okay, you guys, we have the little birdie cut out, and we actually don't have a home for him, but we wanted to put him somewhere cute. So what if we have him like touching the nose with the monkey? So cute. Okay, you guys, we did it all. You don't get to see it all until the morning when I walk in and make sure that this is not on the floor. Thank you so much for supporting me. I will be retiring. Thank you. Good night. Huge news, guys. That was a dope entrance. New day, everything's dry, nothing fell down, my secret trick worked, I'm a genius and I will never apologize. And as you can see, I am now living in an absolute dream tropical jungle paradise. It is so big and bold that I thought the space might feel a little enclosed. It feels massive, it feels dramatic. And I want to point out everything that I love about this freaking mural. Hidden tigers, tropical birds, rhesus monkeys, I believe, fact check me, going nose to nose with beautiful birds, flora, fauna. However, I did realize that because there is a tiger, because there is a rhesus monkey, I'm gonna guess that this ecosystem is in India or Southeast Asia, which means that unfortunately there is no scientific way that this is a sloth, because those are only found in Central and South America. But that's okay. I absolutely love this jungle. I'm gonna say it's India. Shout out to my girls in India who watch. You're all cuties. And most importantly, let me remind you of the trickery that we have done to make these wall murals match when they didn't in reality. We cut this palm out and made it spill over the monkey. We brought this little piece over as well. We individually cut out and overlaid these leaves. Same for this, we made it go over. So if you just spill it back and forth, you can really fake any reality you want. One thing I'm particularly proud of is this outlet. We perfectly matched the pattern over it and I just glued that on top. And then I had a weird electrical cover here too. And this doesn't perfectly match, but you wouldn't know that unless I pointed it out. So we are beautiful, we are stunning, we are in love. Now, like I said, I am working from my dining room table a lot, and so I spend a lot of time at this table, and one really big challenge in a dining room is finding dining room chairs that are comfortable. I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna come for the community and the industry. We're all acting like dining room chairs are comfortable and they're not. I'm very texture sensitive, so I needed whatever dining room chair I got to be super cozy and super comfy, and it took me forever to find a chair I liked. And because the vibe I'm going for lately is a very kind of cozy, grand, glam, but bohemian, but also art deco, I wanted to choose a chair that would be grand but cozy. Are you ready? She's glamorous, she's gold, she's tufted, and she is royal blue. Now let's talk about why she's so beautiful. One, she is tufted. Tufting adds a little bit of like texture, a little visual interest. It's very grand, it's very throne. She is velvet, so she's cozy and soft. And she has this incredible curved base, if you can see. It's smooth, it's soft, feminine curves, but also has the masculine energy of a dictator. And I love a dining room chair that is almost basically an accent chair. I have no problem with that. It is very hard to find them sometimes because you need it to be the right height so that the arms will fit underneath. So I actually got two of these beauties. Now, I live with my boyfriend, and to be honest, we don't actually need 4 full chairs, and 4 of these would actually not fit, and they would really dwarf everything because these are pretty large for scale. But I live with my boyfriend and my cat, and the truth is that she likes to join us for dinner. We pull up our chairs, she pulls up, she curls up into a little croissant, and she hangs out with us. So I realized I actually did need additional chairs, but I couldn't just have one that didn't match these. That would feel weird. And I made the very bold choice to get 2 different chairs that look very, very similar, which are these. These are actually a different manufacturer, but they have an almost identical back. The only difference is these have like a double. But I like that these are very simple, very clean. The color is a near perfect match, and they are still like more petite and narrow, which is good for my cat. They don't have tufting, which is fine. We accept them anyways. But I like that they're just kind of simple ones to scoot in and complete the full look. And as you can see, she's already made her home in them. Kitty Uber. Oh yeah, by the way, let's have a chat about velvet. Now I know instantly a lot of people will be like, oh my God, you have velvet chairs and a cat, that's gonna be so much hair. Guess what, her hair is everywhere. We vacuum all the time, it's fine, it doesn't bother us. Secondly, a lot of people are worried, will she claw the chairs? I'm very fortunate to have a cat with a lot of self-control. She doesn't claw on anything except for her little cat scratch tree. And additionally, velvet's actually a looser weave than a really tight cotton, so it's much more forgiving for claw marks if they're hopping up and down on it. So it's a chance I'm willing to take for the lifestyle I wanna live, for the content you guys all deserve. Now I do wanna say that I chose this color blue because it actually really complements my pink couch, which you guys will see in a future episode. And it's just a color I wanted to introduce into my house. But to be honest, this alone is still too boring for me. This is still minimalism in my opinion. These chairs are so big and so luxe and great that they're actually quite wide and they're actually quite deep. So I realized when I was sitting in them that I was scooting forward. So I realized, why don't we add a little extra oomph, a little extra accent in the form of throw pillows at the dining table. But not just any throw pillows. We're doing green velvet tiger tassel throw pillows. You guys, this is off Amazon. I actually ordered it for a different product I didn't use, and I loved these so much that I realized I'm gonna order them again and use them here. I love the color too. It certainly brings up the green jungle vibes. And frankly, because I saw the tiger down there and he didn't get his full moment because his body's covered, I felt like we had to give him a head and a voice and self-agency to speak. My channel's insane. By the way, if you're like, Katie, why are you working at your dining table when you already did a previous episode about making your office into a closet? Well, that is because, you know, life freaking happens. And this is what our closet is now. Now, you guys know I keep it real. I am very much about designing houses and spaces around the ways you actually live in them. And the truth is that because I use this as my desk so much, this often gets cluttered. And so what is usually sitting on my kitchen table is my laptop and this cluttered basket. It's got mug warmers and medicine and measuring tapes. And I actually don't want to lose my little junk basket, but I do want to make it a little bit prettier and a little bit more functional. And so I decided to replace it with this beautiful lidded basket in which I keep all the souls of the ex-husbands I've murdered. And I absolutely love it because it actually has these like tiny little elegant dainty feet. It's really, really hefty inside. It's also like hefty itself, it's very strong. But it keeps all this stuff within arm's reach without having such an eyesore of all the junk. Side note, if you have boring baskets in your life, you can also dress them up. You can like add tassels, you can like paint designs on them. I will link my basket makeover video below, but that's another good way to make your storage more decorative. And lastly, the truth is that I don't set my table every night. I hate placemats sitting around on my dining room table. If I'm not using them, I think it just clutters things up more. But I actually do have some placemats I bought years ago that miraculously perfectly fit this theme. And I thought I could actually live with these being out because they are more decorative and they complete the space in my opinion. All right, you guys, we have measured, we have cut, we have wallpapered, we have concealed. And now it is time for your very big, very shocking, you've kind of already seen it, final reveal. So a very happy new year to you all. May 2023 make us all live in a jungle. Anything to add? Do you want to flip over? Thank you for joining me on this glam boho jungle journey. Stay tuned for more stuff coming up. This year we're getting more crazy, more fun, more maximalist. I cannot believe I lived so long with basically blank walls, but this has absolutely drastically transformed my life and probably my future and all future timelines. Okay, love ya, bye. When you do this, you know where you end up. Oh, and thank you to my sister Ingrid for helping put this up over the course of 7 hours.